what a night. First and foremost, the crowd was unbelievable. That's the best I've seen. And, it was really awesome to come back home. It's been 3 weeks since we've had an opportunity to be back in Nip and to be at night and to have the student section, the crowd, and everything as electric as it was. That was awesome. And for us, first time really kind of playing a complete game. I'm not saying perfect by any means, but a complete game. I'm talking about 4 quarters. I'm talking about complementary football, feeding off of each other. It was still a dogfight at halftime. I thought the momentum was back and forth. They'd made a long field goal, and us to come out the second half and get the football and Jerome Ford to break off a 75-yard run. I think that was really kind of that pressure that we kept talking about that we don't have to apply at some point in time to get a team to crack. And a big run like that is coming out of halftime, I think, was kind of the difference maker. I know the turnovers and things like that were huge, but that run just, I think, energized not just our team, the crowd, and everything.
What is it about Jerome in those early second half runs?
Maybe it's we don't get him the ball enough at the first half, but I think there's a part of our O-line and wearing on people, and I don't think it's never going to be easy. And especially sometimes in the first half, but that constant pressure of running and Desmond Ritter, the ability to throw the football as well as he can and move the ball around is really can be wearing on a defense, and I think it's wearing on a front. They were a 3-down guy team that rushed 3 in a lot of situations, and I think it might be showed a little bit in the second half in our ability to run the football.
You guys dominated the first half, even if it was just 14 points. Did you sense the dam was going to burst in the second half?
Yeah, but you're as a coach, you're sitting there thinking about the opportunities that you missed, unfortunately, and the momentum of the game. And this team was down 17 points last week against Memphis, and they came storming back and won the football game. And kept reminding those guys it was 17-0, even 17-3, or that this team has been in this position. We saw it last week, and we really need to come out of the second half, and we really need to get on them and take the air out of the sails, because we had moved the ball, we had controlled, pretty much the first half, but not really on the scoreboard, and we just got to capitalize on a few more of those situations.
Fickell came in with one of the more experienced offensive lines in the country. You were able to put some pressure on the quarterback and kind of control the.
No, they did. I mean, I thought that they had one of the, from what we've seen, a really good offensive line. And, I think that early on, I don't know that we got the pressure that we wanted, but I think that's a part of that wear and tear. And the ability for us to play 7, 8 guys up front, I think, is to our advantage. And I think that showed a bit more in the second half that, we're talking about us offensively being able to run the football, and it starts in the second half. I think that's a wear and tear. And I think defensively, that front, those guys up front, the wear and tear that they put on an offensive line, I think showed more in the second half.
It seemed like Wilson Newbert's closeout of the sack, I think it was in the second quarter or first half, whenever it was, kind of typified the way your defense played. It was all over the field.
They were. I mean, I think they were only 3 of 13 on third down. I think that there was constant pressure. I know in the first half, a few times he got free on some, on third down situations where he scrambled a little bit. But I think in those situations, the type of defense that we play and the aggressive nature that we play with, I think those guys, it takes a toll on a quarterback too, knowing even though you're running for 6, 7, 8 yards, that there's 11 of them that are hunting you down too. So I thought they played really well. They played really aggressive tonight on defense.
Chuck got in the end zone. How good was that to see, considering what he's been through back-to-back season knee injuries? How good was that?
I knew it was just a matter of time. I mean, you've seen him each and every week. All through camp, we didn't quite see Chuck, and he was still kind of getting over and getting used to the, coming off of the ACL again. And as we started the first game, late in that first game, you saw all of a sudden he kind of turned a corner a little bit. And I think he's going to be a guy that, as this year continues to go, the more and more confidence he's going to have. He's really a bit of a change of pace guy between him and Jerome. But I tell you, he's gaining lots and lots of confidence in himself, and we're gaining a lot more in him as well.
Important to get Josh finally going a little bit there.
Yeah. We've had some opportunities, and I think him and Lenny have been obviously rotating a lot, and just the ball hasn't quite found him in a lot of those situations. But tonight he did. I think we got him back in the mix. I think that it's still early, and I think after 5 weeks, he might not be where he wants to be, as far as individually, statistically. But he's going to have an incredible second half of the season, and we're going to continue to be able to, use both those guys in a lot of ways.
the
Is
ball.
he okay, by the way? He took a
Yeah,
big
yeah. I
hit.
think he just landed on his tailbone there a little bit, and I think he's perfectly fine.
The ball is finding Alec the past 2 weeks. Is there something in the game plan or with him personally that's allowed him to?
I think the connection starts to really kind of build, and the confidence level, not just in what they call, but in him and Des together, and there is a connection, and I think that in a lot of those situations, there was a few of those ones that might have been a different coverage, and all of a sudden Des has to pull up, and he just trusts that Alec's not going to give up or stop on a play, and he's going to continue to find the hole. And those guys have got a pretty good rapport right now and a pretty unique connection.
How much you take from those second-team guys bowing up at the end zone there? You can stop.
Well, they were getting harassed on the side if they didn't. So it's tough in that situation. This is a team offensively that does a lot of misdirection and things like that, and you stick some of those younger guys in the game and late in the game, it's really difficult. And I think it cost them a little bit there the first few snaps, but they bowed up and they kept our streak, I think, a red zone pretty good for us.
What can you say about the 2 punt drops that they had? How big was that for you guys? Because you all turned.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I that's where on the road I know that he's probably in the locker room saying right now there's no way we can give a team like this the ball back like that in those situations. We didn't get an opportunity to put a hand on a punt that we pride ourselves on, and maybe not even make as many big plays in the special teams other than those. And sometimes special teams about being opportunistic, and where things we couldn't do. I think the only few times we did punt that we at least applied enough of pressure that it was if that ball bobbles, and we took advantage of it, let's just say. But it is tough. It's tough to be on the road. It's tough to be in those situations and ask your defense to bow up there, and especially with an offense like ours.
What are you saying to Cole Smith this season in the locker room after missing so many field goals, especially the last 2 games?
It's just kind of a rhythm. I mean, I think you saw last year at the beginning of the year, Des wasn't really in a rhythm. I think we had, I know he threw 3 picks in the first half of the South Florida game. And, he was a guy that believed in what he was doing, kept working at it, and things kind of turned around. It's still only game 5. And Cole's the same way. He's made some really big kicks for us. He kicked the ball really well for us last year. And he kicked the ball really well today other than one. And sometimes you get on those longer ones and your confidence is still a little bit shaken. But, we got the utmost confidence in him and know that he'll get back to work at it.
Are you thinking about style points at all? I know we talked about this at the end of last year.
I have not a whole lot of style. I don't know what style you want. My wife picks the clothes I wear. I don't know what's that style. I don't know what you mean by style, but we like to play complete games. We like to, finish things out, and we hadn't done that yet this year, and I'm just happy we did tonight.
Yeah, it was just continue to play a full 60-minute game, just like Coach was saying. Play a complete game. Doesn't matter what happened in the first 30 minutes. We wanted to go out there like a 0-0 and keep doing our thing.
That's a pretty experienced offensive line, but do you feel like you have opportunities to get some pressure on the quarterback tonight?
Yeah, I felt like our pressures were getting through today, and the boys up front are just relentless, the D-line, and it's amazing to be able to play behind them. Just creates opportunity. I mean, the second quarter of the game, or even earlier, the quarterback's getting a little, happy feet back there, and he's able to and getting out of dodge real quick, and it just opens opportunities for more guys who are in coverage but maybe don't have a man, and so they go and get after him. And so I think that's kind of what happened today.
How is that what it's like playing behind this D-line who's doing so well right now?
Yeah, I mean, the guys are beasts. I mean, the O-line has such a hard job just to stop them. And I think sometimes that opens some opportunity for the backers behind them. And, yeah, I mean, those guys we're an O-line, D-line driven program, and those guys kill it every game.
Do you guys know how much Majay is important to what everything you do? How good was it to see him finally get home and get that first sack?
It's awesome. I love to see him do well, and I want him to keep on getting sacks. And, yeah, I just want him to do as best as he can and thrive.
How much does what the pressure he's drawing, the attention he's drawing, how much does that help everybody else?
I mean, I think as an offensive line, you kind of got a game plan for a guy like that. And so it just creates other opportunities for other people. Even when he doesn't get there, he causes so much pressure. The quarterback has to run out, and create some good stuff for us on defense.
As the season goes along, do you feel like you guys are going to play faster on defense just instinctively?
Could you repeat the first part?
As the season goes along, do you think you guys are going to play faster and faster and more instinctively?
Absolutely. There's an old defense and we've been together for a while, but as time goes, we just become more in sync, and sometimes we do things on the field that we don't even talk about, and it just kind of naturally happens. We probably should talk about it, but it just there's so much chemistry out there, and it's awesome to continue and enhance with this defense.
Are there mid-game adjustments you're making in terms of sacks? You seem to get away, be able to escape a little bit in the first half, and then that wasn't happening for him at all in the second half.
I think during the halftime, you get to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, he's really like trying to get out of the pocket, and so you just keep that in mind, that he's wanting to, get out of there, and so you change your rush a little bit and to cater to that, to kind of compress that pocket, and it creates more opportunities.
Did it feel like there was a point where he said, I'm not going across the line of scrimmage anymore because these guys just keep hitting hard?
He started to try to throw.
Yeah.
As he was scrambling.
Yeah. I think the pressure is definitely getting to him a little bit. So.
What goes through your mind when you have a free run like you did? I think it was the third quarter.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the guy to make a move. No way he just stays there, right? But it ended up working out. So.
You're on punt team too. Have you ever seen 2 muff punts like that in a game? And what does that do for the energy?
It's moments like that, especially if it was a tighter game. But those are the differences in games, and creates just more opportunity, more momentum. And I think for a team that is struggling to get things going, it's just kind of that much harder on them. So.
What is it about the start of the second half? You come out of halftime ready to take one deep.
Yeah, I felt like we kind of started out a little bit slow in the running back room. So, everybody was coming around saying we need to get it going.
What did you see? What was that play call? What did you see on the play?
It was an inside zone play, and I kind of remember it. I don't really remember it. I just remember running down the sideline.
At what point in that run, or in those types of runs, do you feel like no one's catching you?
When you see a lot of space and nobody, it's somebody, but it's a foot race.
What goes through your mind? You're starting to become known for these monster long runs, but as you're running 70, 80 yards, what goes through your mind?
It's a long end zone. Seem like it get further and further away. I'd be tired.
How big was it to just open up conference play in dominant fashion and picking up a big win today?
It was fun. The O-line really got into it today, moving guys around. They dominated today.
Can you elaborate what you're seeing your O-line do for you and what kind of holes they're making for you and what lanes you're seeing?
Can you repeat it?
Can you just elaborate on what your O-line and how you guys are meshing together and what you're seeing them do?
Yeah, pretty much. We always talk about what happens when we come off the field, and it's never really I don't know how to put it. I really don't know how to put it, but we talk a lot. We talk about what we see on the field, what we could do better. When I'm down, they pick me up. When they're down, I pick them up. They do their thing. When we get rolling, it's really hard to stop us, especially when they get rolling. Like you seen, Chuck got going, Ethan got going. So it's like once the O-line is rolling, it's pretty much a wrap for whoever we play.
You know a little bit of what Chuck's been through. How good was it to see him break one and get to the end?
Great. It was like Forrest Gump when he broke out his little brace. Love to see Chuck get it going.
It's been a couple big weeks for Pierce. Did you guys feel like it was just a matter of time before we started putting up games like this?
I always felt like Pierce was real good. Even before I got here, just watching the Bearcats, I was like, yeah, Alec Pierce is really good. Me and Mike talk about it sometimes. We're like, yeah, Pierce, he that dude.
How impactful has this crowd been for you guys this season, especially after the Notre Dame game and the blackout tonight?
It was great. It was my first snippet at night, so I was really impressed. I loved it. I think pretty much the things that they've been doing, going to Notre Dame, going to Indiana, making every place feel like a home game, I love it.
Did you expect that when you came here? Did you know that, or understand that was part of what Cincinnati was about?
I had no clue. I didn't really know until I got here. It was like, yeah, stadium real loud. Got away from Nip at night. Then we went through the COVID season. Didn't really get to see it. So this was nice.
Jerome, do you think you guys are getting close to playing 4 consistent quarters of football that Luke was talking about you guys are going to need the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think we're getting closer and closer with every game. I just think it's something that's going to happen over time. I feel like we're really close to playing 4 quarters fully.
Coming in, this week after game plan, obviously, we knew they were going to be in a lot of 3 down. And we were going to trust in our big men up front. Our big men did a great job on both sides of the ball, moving the line of scrimmage. And really, that's where we obviously pride ourselves on as a team, is being an O-line, D-line driven program. They really stepped up for us and made us really easy to get in progression and get going.
Are there, whether it's a 3-man front or something, are there plays where you're like, if we block right, this one can go, or is it almost like an any given play situation?
Any given play, if we can execute, that play is gonna be exciting. That's for sure.
Talk about your relationship with Alec Pierce coming this far now. This is his 3rd straight game of 100+ yards. Talk about the connection you guys have going in and forward.
Yeah, no, me and AP have a great connection. Ever since he's got here, he came in with Ben Bryant, and me and Ben were good friends, and off the field we just always were together. We were together out golfing, and together just working out every time. So we've kind of had the connection ever since he's been here. He's a guy I've trusted that I know can go up and just go get the ball when you throw it up, and we've just had a great connection over the past years, and it's just shown up in games.
Is there something defenses are doing, covering him differently recently, that's allowing you to find him more?
No, today, we just gave him a couple early hitches, and then there were a couple hole shots in there. The hole shot on the first play, and then there was another one down on their sideline later. So, just find a way to get him the ball. Yeah.
How cool to see, after all he's been through, Chuck break one out and take it to the house. Jerome said it's like Forrest Gump breaking off the pieces.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for Chuck. He's put in so much work, and then every time, it's his time to go, just something had happened. So, we're just blessed to have Chuck with us. His presence is definitely felt out there on the field, and he's just worked his butt off to get back to where he needs to be, to get back to 100%. And, we're just glad he trusts himself, and we definitely trust him.
Did you feel it was coming?
Oh, yeah, it was just only a matter of time. And, those are the ones that you hand off, and then you can just see him squirt and then get up through, and those are fun.
Tyler had a great run after the catch. Can you talk about what you saw from him and the move he made at the 10-yard line?
Yeah, so that play call was designed to go to AP or LT into the boundary, and they played more of like a cover 3 look, and dropped that dollar safety all the way in, all the way out for the post. So I came back to the field free access, and he was wide open coming out of the break. Gave him a ball, and he made a man miss. And, honestly, I, kind of saw him right kind of towards the collision. And, I kind of started to look for the next play, for the next signal. And the next thing I hear him break off and go. And, I was like, man, good for him. That's great.
Feel good to have Linda Knight back?
Oh, it felt great. Huge shout out to all the fans that came out tonight. I know we were sitting right there on the bleacher, and it was early, and you could see people walking across the bridge. But then you would look around, and there'd be no seats. And so you're like, where are all these people going to go? And no, they were great. And Norris was rocking. Student section was great, and we were loving it.
How important has fan energy been for you this season?
Oh, it's been huge, especially, coming off COVID season, where, we got a good amount of fans right towards the end of the season. But early in the season, there were no fans. So, just having that energy, getting back going, it makes it a lot easier for the team, even when you might be in a down spot and you just hear your fans behind you, it helps.
Coach Fickell's talked a lot about that complete game, all 4 quarters. Obviously a big win last week, but was tonight maybe as close as you've come to putting together 4 consistent quarters?
In the first 5 games, for sure. There's still a lot of things we can work on, still a lot of things we can get better. But I feel like, from start to finish, from old guys to young guys, everyone came in, did their job, knew their role, and we came out with a win. So you got to look at it as a positive. But also in the end, I think we're going to come back, we're going to watch this film, and there's going to be a lot of things that we left out there and that we can, improve on.
What's it feel like going through a third quarter like that, where it feels like
feels good. Feels like that's everything we worked on. Coach Fick talked about earlier in the week, making sure that we come out here, start fast, and really finish the whole game and stay consistent through. And I feel like we did a great job of doing that. And, it feels good when you play good.
When you are on the sideline and get the chance, Desmond, how much enjoyment do you get out of watching your defense?
A huge enjoyment. It makes, my life a lot easier to know that we have, a great 11 guys out there to 20 guys who can rotate in. That is going to lock things down. So it's just fun when I do get to watch them to really just see them wreak havoc in what they do.
We only get to watch you once a week at practice, but you were really spinning it Tuesday. You guys had a couple of good games. You feel like this is the best you've ever thrown the ball?
Yeah, I felt good. I think the EQ guys did a good job of scrubbing the balls too, so they were feeling really good to throw. So, yeah, but
1-0 in conference play. A win is great, but how important was it to get off to a great start inside the conference?
it's huge for us. That's just 1-0. A lot of people look at 5-0. For us, we're 1-0 right now going into conference play. So, like I said before, we're going to take it week by week, go here and prepare for another big game, another home game that we got against UCF. They're going to come in here hungry. So, we're just going to prepare like we do every week and come out here and play a good game.
Coach said he's not thinking about style points. Are you thinking about style points at all in these games?
No, and I don't think anything out there was style points. I think everything out there was just execution. And that's just what you're expected to do when you come out and execute and play the game you're supposed to play. So I wouldn't say style points is a thing or a big thing. If you execute, you execute. That's all there is to it.
But is it satisfying that when this is the game of the night and every fan's watching this one? Is it nice to put a performance out there on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, for sure. And, sometimes earlier in the hotel, we were sitting thinking on what would be a Friday night for us if we played on Saturday. We'd be at a hotel, on the projector, and there'd be a game going on. We're like, man, everyone's like really watching us right now. And so it's good to go out there and put on a complete game, whether no one's watching or whether the whole world's watching.